Finally, all the actual panels are in, even the little notch piece back there, and a couple other little pieces. Just wanted to real quick, when I do these, I have a tendency to caulk the area behind the panel to the greatest effect possible. You know, if there's a corner or something there, caulk it. Then I put the panel down on top of it, and then after the panel goes down on top of it, it's going to get caulked all the way around. When I do my caulking for stuff like this, I don't worry too much about beauty, but at the same time I do like to tape it, because if you tape both sides of the joint, just caulk it, run your finger down it. When it comes off, it looks so much better. So I'm gonna see if I can get the second one here. All right, got it. Okay, so like there, you can barely even see it on camera, but it's gotten, timer light. There we go. Okay, so you can see that it's got, you know, pretty straight lines up and down. It makes it look real nice. The caulk isn't going to be perfect, and the caulk's going to get dirty and nasty once it gets washed, dirt washed over it a few times or whatever, but it looks good for now. So that's basically how I do it. I've just got a whole bunch more. I've got to take care of all of these little gaps that there are and caulk all that in. Caulk all that in where it comes through the panel. I'm going to do the edge of the light. I'm going to do the edge where it meets all there and all the way around, and then all the little seams, and then we'll put some trim on the door, and we'll really be getting somewhere. Oh, so glad to have the wood up though. Okay, almost ready to put the tank in place. We've got my little tank support shelf with the iron or steel angle. Got some little trim screws in there holding it in place, and the two big redhead bolts. Got the fittings, the John Guest fittings running into the chrome shutoff valves that go to the John Guest elbows. Up here, got the attachment point. Is in this case what I used was an eye lag with a lag shield, which is just a soft metal insert, kind of like a wedge anchor. I've got the line zip tied to the old redheads that used to hold the old attachment. Up at the top, it's teed off of the cold line for the RO supply, and it's not teed off on the hot line because it doesn't need to be. And then the small, nasty looking algae filled tube is the RO drain, where it gets rid of the RO or water on the floor, because I was testing which pipe was which. So so that's just about ready to go. The last thing I really need to do is figure out the mounting of the deal, but what I need to do now is put the tank up there temporarily one more time, just to get the position of the RO filter and get that drilled in and installed, or at least the mount for it installed. And then I can finally put the tank in place forever, ever, and strap it up, and then trim off the excess of the straps and all that. So it should be good to go. We'll get to see what the tensile strength on these Tapcons really is. I've got two like 1¼ Tapcon screws in there, and I think it is possible that I'll be able to pull them out with that strap. However, it is also highly possible that I'm just being foolish, and the tensile strength of that is well above what I need. I know those aren't going to pull out. You'd need a backhoe or something to pull those out of the wall. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and that's really important because, well, for one, I need the RO supply to do the operation, and I've been suffering without it. But everything else in here is looking good. Light, everything's ready to go. So like, I mean, once the water is back in here, I need to get back in production. So I believe that I may postpone doing the floor in here, but that, I mean, that's not a big deal. One day I'll just come in here, you know, take the stuff out of the room, which really isn't that big a deal. There's not that much stuff that touches the floor. and just, you know, paint the floor over some time when I know the room's going to be empty for a couple of days. Right now, it needs to be filled up with plants, so need to get to that action. I need to build this little cabinet area that's going to enclose that and put the timer back on and everything. CO2 tank's going to live above the door right there. Need to do the door trim. But that's, I mean, I don't have to. That's just cosmetic. I mean, it's ready to go. So we're pretty much there. Oh, I need to do the foam in that hole right there. I mean, I've got it caulked and all that, but I have some white expanding foam that I'm going to use to finish that out. Need to get the carbon filter / ozone system built and in place there. But again, that's really not critical. You know, unless you have a full room and full flower, you're not going to get any appreciable odor. So it's not really that critical. But having water is pretty critical to the grow. So onward. Oh yeah, welcome to hydroponics. Not even growing anything in here, and I got water all over the floor as usual. So people seem to like my mistake. Alrighty, here we go. The light's back in there. I can turn on the other light, but it like barely makes a dent now. Alright. Ooh, it's so bright in here, I can't even see the screen on the camera. I mounted the rail back up there for the light to hang on. It didn't take very long, just smack that sucker up there right in the middle. I put in the two Guardian meters that I use. I have the smaller, wider CO2 deal, and I'm actually going to move that more down towards the middle here, and then put another little item right there, because I thought I was going to put the CO2 valve right there, but it's deep, so it might as well go right here. So, alright, so the CO2 valve is going to go up there, probably the controls to the AC right there, and then there's that. Probably going to need to add another power strip or two below, because I already took up all the power stuff I put in there. Probably should have put these outlets a little bit lower, because they're interfered with by these cords, but I mean, what are you going to do? This whole area, can't even back up enough, this whole area right here is just going to have a little cabinet that encloses all that, so I can open a door right there. This is done. I got this water heater drain valve on there. It's white, looks good. Got some issues with my valves down here. It's been a comedy of errors, buying the wrong sizes, buying the wrong stuff. The valves leak like sieves. That's why I got that piece of U-shaped tube stuffed into both ends, because the valves themselves are like absolutely leaking. I thought maybe they were directional or whatever, but apparently I got to take the caps off of them and tighten the packing nut and see if that fixes it. I've got, you know, eventually there's going to be a metal 1/2-inch supply line that comes out of that and goes up to the little faucet that I'm going to put right there. But of course the bender I bought is just 3/16 to 3/8, won't do 1/2 inch, so I screwed that up. I mean, if there's anything I could have possibly ordered wrong about that, I did. But on to what's really going on here. There have been some questions about the sump. That's the sump right there. It's just like a plastic trash can sized tub set down into the concrete. It has this one pipe. You can see that corrugated pipe coming in the side. There's a gravel bed around the basement walls that drains into that pipe. But we don't get much water through this. Even when we're like, all that water you see there is just from me draining stuff into here. The pump, cast iron pump right there, and all the dirt in the bottom that I got to get cleaned out of there. But anyway, that's the lid off of the sump, probably for the first time in one of these videos. You can see what is going on with that. Anyway, I took it off because typically what I do is I take the air pump. I like this little $40 dual diaphragm pump. We'll see how it does. But I have a little shelf that sits down inside of there, and I set the air pump on the shelf and bring it up through one of those holes you see in the cover. And if you do that, it'll be just about almost silent. except for just, you'll actually hear the bubbles. You can actually hear the bubbles in the bucket louder than the pump itself. Just kind of makes a hissing noise. So it's going pretty good. I mean, it's really chooching on one bucket. We'll see how good it is for two. I actually have one of the $80 General Hydroponic 4-outlet dual diaphragm pumps as well, but it says it uses less wattage. My kilowatt says 17 on this one, and that one advertises 8. So this one's actually advertised as 14. So I don't see how it could be more powerful unless it's just a hell of a lot more efficient. So we'll see. But whew, I'm actually sweating in there from standing under the light. Because when I'm standing under that light, my head is only about 1.5 feet under it, and it will make you sweaty. But anyway, here we are. So, had to get back into the deal. The RO is filling up. You probably can't see it in the camera, but the RO level is right there underneath that. And with the light in here, you can actually see the RO level a lot better than I was able to see it before. Maybe I just cleaned off the deal. I got my mounts. I got my special white straps. I got the RO mounted up there. RO filter's all dirty and needs filter changes, but I'll clean that all up. But for now, I got a plant I want to get in here, so I wanted to get a bubble bucket going. And right now, this has so much bleach in it that it doesn't quite smell like the municipal pool in here, but we're getting there. I'm going to put a circulation pump in there so it circulates this all back through. I know there's differing opinions on recirculation, but I like to have it because it makes my mixture be homogeneous. When I'm mixing it and trying to pH it, it makes it not take very long for me to get decent readings on it. So that's why I do it. But anyway, as a matter of fact, you can see it. The pH is saying 8.6, 8.8. This one needs calibration. But anyway, it's so high because I put bleach in it. That's what's making it be real high like that. So, trying to eliminate all possible sources of infection. I've got a res, which is brand new. These valves are brand new. Those drain pipes are not brand new, but I'm going to fill them so full of bleach that it kills everything in them. The bucket has been used before, but I bleached it before I even did this, and now I'm bleaching it again. That bucket was brand new. That lid was new. So where possible, that pump is new. That air line going in there is new. All the stuff could not be infected. But one thing I found on this Permaclone Collars website, I think Permaclone Collars went out of business. The guy was trying to make an improved collar, and I think it went out of business. But one of the things he said to do is he's like, take the back plate off your pump. The pump itself is sealed with this potting, which I knew it was, you know, and that back plate is just on there to make it pretty, and so you don't see the glue holding it all together. But lo and behold, this pump is absolutely full of junk. And the guy on the website was saying if you're having trouble with your cloners and your DWC, open up the back plate of your pump so that you can clean that out, and also so when the stuff, the bleach does circulate, it gets in there. So I opened up this one and this one, and in both cases I found the same thing. There was just dirt or scunge that had dried in there that, you know, just works as a pathogen sponge. So now that that's cleaned off, I can get in there. Hopefully that'll, I'm just trying to do everything I can do to make this work, because I had moved to Rockwool trays. I just spent a couple $100 on Floraplex caps and stuff like that to do trays, but that's okay. I don't mind having tray capability. But I really want to go with a bubble bucket. It is so convenient. You can dump the media down the drain when you're done with it. It's easy. It grows giant plants when it's doing right. So really want to get to this. So I'm going to try real hard to run this one clean and see if I can prevent the dreaded root rot that's shut down all my bubble bucket efforts so far. Wish me luck. But in any case, I mean, all the panels are up. It's so bright white in here, it almost hurts to look in there, which is good. I'll get me some of those swanky grow room sunglasses or whatever. But I mean, that's what I wanted to see. The super white walls with the almost as white, flat painted concrete over here. I mean, it is just hella bright in here. So that's why I'm gonna run my CO2. CO2 valve's gonna be there. The CO2 tank's gonna live above the door right there. And pretty soon I'll have a completely sealed environment that is rolling along with hopefully every parameter in my control. So we'll see. Thanks for looking.